10 Cats. Off the brook, it's Alex Brooker. Why-eyed Pet, it's Chris Ramsey. And their team captain, John Richardson. And facing them tonight, the beard and the wonderful, it's Joe Wilkinson. From man down, it's Roisin Conaty. And their team captain, Sean Locke. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy
Welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats Uncut, a show all about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 80% of obese people say they've got no idea how much they should be eating? Here's a clue, less than that. 30% of people say their favourite meal hasn't changed since childhood. My favourite meal's still the same, sucking on boobies. Right, Mum? And 18% of the population has sleepwalked. My girlfriend's a terrible sleepwalker. A few weeks ago, she sleepwalked out of the house, met up with her ex-boyfriend, they sleep-shagged, and now she sleep-left me. When she wakes up, she's going to be so embarrassed. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's our panellist's job to guess the British public's top 5 most popular talking points. Sean Steen, what do you think the nation have been talking about this week?
I think people have been talking about Guy Fawkes Night.
Did you go to a bonfire?
No. I don't really like fireworks. I think they're like looking at views. Just boring after a while.
Yeah, views. Yeah. I mean, the whole eye is overrated as far as I'm concerned. You don't like views?
But listen, you go out and then you've got to look at the fireworks and you go, this is great. And then 3 minutes in, you think, I'm bored now, I'm cold. And then you're stuck there.
Sean, is it a big night in your house? Do you do the bonfires?
Yeah, I like the bonfire thing. I mean, I had to take the RSPCA's advice quite seriously because they said you should check under your bonfire for sleeping hedgehogs. And I couldn't find any, but luckily I had some in the freezer. So. Yeah, got that sorted.
Yeah, sure.
I think I look like Guy Fawkes because the people on our road did an effigy and it really looked like me. They'd done it on our road. It was right in front of my house. It was kind of in my front garden. They'd even used like a photocopy of my face. And they were like chanting, "Weirdo out, weirdo out, weirdo out," which must be like a traditional chant or something.
John, did you go to a fireworks display?
It was a landmark year for me. This was the first year when I couldn't even be bothered to go to the window to look. Usually, if I hear some, I'll go and have a look at my neighbour's fireworks. But this year, I just thought, nah, I'm enjoying Gogglebox.
I think anyone who pays an entrance fee to a bonfire display doesn't understand what the sky is. Like, £2 in, I'm going to stand on that car over there and play with my £2 that I've just saved.
Taunt them with it.
Yeah, just...
The best firework display, I think, in history. It was in Scotland a couple of years ago. It was meant to last half an hour, but due to a technical hitch, all the fireworks went off in under a minute. Let's have a look. This was meant to last half an hour. You'd have made it to the window for that, wouldn't you, John?
I would have, yeah, if I'd have heard Armageddon outside my window.
Just imagine being there thinking, oh, how are they going to follow this up?
It's hard, they're not.
I'd like to have seen the guy's face who lit them all and at the end just stood there just like that. I don't know.
Yeah, would you try to stop them? I reckon he just wanted to beat the traffic. He just sat and just ran to his car.
Let's have a look and see if firework night is up there. Yes, it was bonfire night this week. In one town in Kent, locals burnt an effigy of apprentice star Katie Hopkins, which seems crazy because you can get the real Katie Hopkins for £75 plus travel.
That's always the fascinating thing about effigies, isn't it? Is you can see the start of it thinking, yeah, I'm going to make an effigy of Katie Hopkins. And then you start it, and then hopefully, after about 10 minutes, you go, what am I doing? And then stop. But it's the desire to finish it.
Yeah.
Have you got, like, loads of half-finished effigies in your garage?
Yeah. Your one's nearly done. It's the hair I'm having trouble with. I can't get it quite like an ice cream. I want it to be just right, Chris.
OK, John's team, what do you think the nation have been talking about this week?
What about the Tesco? Tesco have got new technology that means they can scan your face and tell you what you want to buy when you're in a garage.
I'm not sure. Is that a good idea? I mean...
I could do that. Petrol.
So Tesco's are rolling out new advertising screens in 450 of their petrol stations. They use hidden cameras to scan people's faces to determine their age bracket and if they're male or female, and then they can sort of market products to them.
So how do they tell you what they think you should buy? Do they whisper it? Do they come up to you and go, I think you need some crisps?
I think they would look at you, Sean, and go, I think moisturiser, maybe, you know.
Prunes. Fly spray.
They've had this technology in toilets for years, though. I go into a garage, and when I get in the cubicle, it tells me exactly what they think I'd like to do to someone and who I can call.
Alex, you used to work for Tesco's.
Yeah.
Is this a good idea?
I was a heartthrob on the tills back in the day.
Heartthrob on the tills? Yeah, of course you were. where you were just on the main tills?
Yeah, I was on the tills. I mean, I'm crap at shelf stacking, so... tills is the only place they were going to put me.
Imagine the till might be a bit hit and miss as well, but that's not...
I think I was the reason why they brought in self-scanning.
The long game of it is to improve shopping experiences around the supermarket, and I don't think that's going to make much difference. If they want to make shopping better, I just think it's simple. Just make a shopping trolley that adults can sit in.
Who's going to push you around, though?
I'll just ask someone. I'll just sit there until someone pushes me around.
Or you could get a baguette. And punt around the supermarket.
A couple of them.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a look and see if it's up there. Yes, indeed. Sean's team, what do you think the nation have been talking about this week?
Is it, well, hit right into my territory here. It's Justin Bieber's done some things. Justin Bieber.
Well, police in Brazil have charged Bieber with illegally spraying graffiti in Rio. Defacing buildings is a crime in Brazil, punishable by up to 1 year in jail. I can't imagine Justin Bieber surviving a whole year. But it'd be a hell of a week for the inmates.
You're like one of those Mexican piñata toys. They just keep bashing him till sweets just fall out of him.
He's just a kid, isn't he? I think I feel a bit sorry for him. When I see him now, I hate him. But, you know, he first did a video when he was 16 of him on a guitar, and he's a really nice little kid in his mum's house, doing a little song, and then I kind of think, I think we made him a twat.
I get really upset because, as a believer, you know... and I know you'll find it unbelievable that I am a believer.
I find it unbelievable.
I'm sick and tired of unbelievers mocking our beliefs.
Well, I can tell you it's not in our top 5, but Justin Bieber appears to be having a meltdown in Brazil. According to tabloid reports, whilst in Brazil, Justin Bieber allegedly visited a brothel. He must have ordered off the kids' menu because he had a mini sausage, fish fingers, and then he spilt his beans. John's team, what else has the nation been talking about?
The Call of Duty came out.
The Call of Duty? The Call of Duty's come out on your Sega Mega Drive. On the first day it came out, it made $1 billion worldwide. So it's bigger than any film any music, just huge.
I ordered one, not this one, it was the last one. I went into the shop and I pre-ordered it, and I like paid like a £10 deposit or whatever. He went, "You coming for the midnight one?" And I went, "Do I have to come at midnight to get the copy?" And he went, "No, but you're not just going to come." I went, "No." He went, "Oh, it'll be good, man." No, I won't. Standing in a queue at midnight outside a shop with loads of sort of like comic book reading 30-year-old men. Definitely not.
I wouldn't queue for a game at midnight. I don't like queuing for Oceania at midnight. But what I love about the new Call of Duty game is that you can play as a dog. And for me, that makes it a very different game. It's like, how many people have you killed? Well, none, but I've had 2 shits and a bit of postman.
Sean, have you ever played a video game? Are you...
No, I don't see what's wrong with Conkers, really. How could you not have a better game than that? And you don't need a queue. Nobody ever stood round a Conker tree at midnight going, "The big one's going to drop." Look at it, it's going to go. I'm getting it.
Well, I always wonder about computer games. You know, in a computer game, if you walk into a wall or something, he goes, "Ugh." I always think that was someone's job to make that noise. Someone got paid to sit in a studio for a day going, "Oh." I'd do that. If they make a game where there's a little gremlin wandering around, I'd happily spend a week of my life just going, "Ugh."
What about the guy whose job it was to find out what noise you make when you walk into a wall? Surely you got it now.
I don't really play like Call of Duty. I play a lot of like FIFA, but the worst thing about online gaming is the messages you get from people when you beat them. Like I had one the other day which was all in Spanish, and I Google translated it, and it wasn't very nice. And if you're watching Carlitos 97, I don't shag my mum, so the joke's on you.
OK, let's have a look and see if Call of Duty is up there. Fingers on buzzers. What do you think?
Is it Michael O'Leary, the boss of Ryanair, promising that he's going to give us better customer service on Ryanair at last? He said, "I'm not going to charge anyone to use the toilet, and you're not going to have to pay to have a chair, and I'm not going to put you in the roof rack if you didn't print your boarding pass."
So this is allocated seating on Ryanair. I mean, should you expect good service on one of these low-cost airlines?
I'm glad they're doing allocated seating on Ryanair, because when I travel on my own, what I like to do is I look at the queue and I try and spot someone I think it would be quite nice to sit next to. And then I follow them down the queue, and as they're checking in, I jump in and go, "I'd like to sit next to him, please." And then we chat for the whole flight. It's brilliant. A lot of people say you meet weirdos on planes, but I've never met one.
I've got some quotes here from O'Leary, who's extraordinary at giving quotes. On charging people to use the toilet, he said, "I would wipe their bums for a £5."
That's good value, that.
On overweight passengers, this is nice, he said, "Nobody wants to sit beside a really fat bastard."
The thing is, normally, fat people, quite bubbly.
Have you flown Ryanair, Sean?
Yeah, I don't particularly, you know, if I can avoid it, I would avoid it. But when you're paying £12.99 to fly to Dublin, I mean, that's incredible. I mean, you know, £2 for a go on the Dodgems. You don't get very far.
No.
I tried to break out of that ring.
Michael O'Leary often gets stick for not taking complaints seriously. Here he is getting grilled by Eamon Holmes.
We can't even vomit on your planes, you see, because if we go to be sick, there's not even a bag to puke into.
But you'd be so on time on such a beautiful new all-leather seat, brand new aircraft, and we'd sell you the vomit bag. But nobody gets sick on Ryanair. They're saving so much money, they just spend the time laughing.
The worst thing they do, that punctuality argument, when you land on a flight, and if it's on time, they do a little... That is the very least I expected, that you wouldn't kill me.
I was on a Ryanair flight once, and the tape machine had broken down, and the bloke had to do it himself. You know, and he came over the tunnel and went... Ryanair flight on time. That was worth the £2.40 I'd spent on the flight.
OK, let's have a look and see if Ryanair is up there. Yes, Ryanair has agreed to offer allocated seating. I tell you what you can't take away from Ryanair, their headphones, because they don't give you any. Right, fingers on buzzers, one more thing still to get.
I like the story of the Indian mission to Mars. few years ago, the Chinese put a mission into space, and it's quite funny. It's a very similar response to it. The Chinese went into space, and the British press had the same kind of reaction they had with the Indian one, which is a bit like Cool Runnings. It is. It's a bit like, what? The Indians going... You know, they've got a space mission going on. And the thing I think's odd about it is it cost, like, 48 million.
No, but this is it. This is why it's controversial, because Britain gives £280 million in aid annually to India, and the mission costs £45 million. They're going to Mars. So we're giving them this money, and they're leaving.
It's like you've lent your mate money who's skint so he can come out on a night out, and he's got a rounding and hasn't got you a drink.
I'll tell you what's mad. The cost of it is half of Gareth Bale. That's what's... Real Madrid could have bought a slightly shitter player and gone to Mars.
Well, you put it in those terms. Very good. Roisin, would you like to go to Mars?
No, thanks. No.
It wasn't like a date suggestion, was it?
Sounded like one, Jimmy. I don't understand. It's got so much poverty there, and I think their priorities are completely mental. It's like someone who's got a Vauxhall in their garden with no wheels, yet they'd put tinted windows in and a sound system. They've got so much poverty there, they can't justify spending that money going to Mars.
When I'm skint, the first thing to go is space exploration. I'll cut it out.
The whole thing with the mission is to tell whether there's methane in the atmosphere. So basically, they spent 45 million to see if Mars smells of shit. I don't understand what's the point of that?
I'd like to live there.
Joe, over to you.
I'd like to be the first person to live there. It'd be brilliant, because you'd probably get a house with quite a big garden. Big enough for a trampoline.
I don't think you need a trampoline there. I think it's bouncy.
Well, that's why I want one, mate. Go well, I'd run a small business. I'd start a pub. And I'd call it the Mars Bar. It's a proper joke. One proper joke.
Well, let's have a look and see if the Indian mission to Mars is up there. Of course, India aren't the only country with a new space programme. Earlier this year, Iran said they plan to put a man on the moon by 2025 by nuking Israel. So those were the most talked about things this week. But in other news, during their trial, it was revealed that Rebecca Brooks and Andy Coulson have had an affair. We don't know if Andy Coulson was tapping phones, but we do know he was tapping Rebecca Brooks. And if anything, I think that's worse. Sir Alex Ferguson's book has become the fastest-selling piece of non-fiction in history. Alex Ferguson's book details his incredible journey from slightly pink to red and ultimately a bright purpley colour. Wayne Rooney's very keen to read Ferguson's book, and he'll get onto it just as soon as he finds out what's happened to this very hungry caterpillar. So at the end of that round, Sean, Joe and Roisin have 2 points. John, Alex and Chris have 3 points. So our next round is Pick of the Polls. Sean, Joe, Roisin, pick a question.
The bear, please, Jimmy.
OK. Last week, an 80-year-old Russian man survived a fight with a bear. True story. He bravely kicked and headbutted the bear before the bear threw him off a cliff. He survived, but a bear basically came at him and he fought him off. So we asked our studio audience, do you consider yourselves brave? Yes or no?
I was really hoping you had a clip.
I'm not dismissing the bravery of a man, but it sounds to me like he survived because he got thrown off a cliff. I'm going to speculate, had the fight continued, he would have got the shit kicked out.
He was an 80-year-old Russian shepherd. He was approached by a bear in a raspberry field. So this is true. This is a nursery rhyme. This week, approached by a bear in a raspberry field. He showered him with kicks and headbutts. Reporters say he managed to knock the bear off balance before it threw him off a cliff. He was hospitalised with bruises, bite wounds and 4 broken ribs. Wow. Discharged within a few days, and it's not known how the bear is.
I just love it how we're sitting slagging a man off who fought a bear. We're like, We're sitting in London in a warm studio. He fought a fucking bear.
Yeah, in a raspberry field. Get over it.
What's a shepherd doing in a raspberry field? How mobile are these raspberries?
I like the line, he was approached by the bear. I can imagine, if you're the shepherd, a bear goes, excuse me.
The thing is, to be fair, we've only got the shepherd's version of this story. I'd like to hear the bear's version.
In bear news, a bear was sexually assaulted today by a mad Russian. Joe, if you got attacked by a bear, what would your strategy be? What would you do?
Work the body.
But you know, I mean, I wouldn't be. The best way to deal with a bear, if the bear attacks you,
yeah.
and this is genuine, if a bear attacks you, is stay very still and wait for it until it gets really close, until it's literally about there, and then you just go, whoa, like that. And because it's got those big round feet, it just goes, whoa. They can't adjust. They've got no balls on their feet. So you just go, whoa, like that, and it just throws them. And sometimes I've been attacked by loads of bears, and they're just literally going, whoa, and they're all behind me in a big pile.
Would you remember that under attack? Because you know there's so much information about dealing with animals that I think if a bear attacked me, I'd probably like piss on my feet or something, you know, get confused with jellyfish. So you'd have to remember it. Would you remember that?
Well, the difference between a bear and a jellyfish, easy.
OK. We asked our studio audience, do you consider yourself brave, yes or no? John, I associate you with machismo and sort of all things that are... I mean, are you brave? Would you consider yourself brave?
I think sometimes, Jimmy, the bravest thing you can do is just be yourself. I think if that means shitting your pants and crying, then yeah, I'm brave.
I'm not very brave. I always used to get called brave when I was younger. Like, if I was in hospital, I'd get a card saying how brave I was. But I wasn't there through choice. It wasn't like I was sat at home playing with stickle bricks and I thought, I'll show people how hard as nails I am. I'll go and have major surgery. Show them how brave I am.
I suppose, in fairness to the person, whoever was writing the card going, you're so brave, what were they meant to put?
Well done. Still here.
We asked our studio audience, do you consider yourself brave, yes or no? What do you think they said, Sean?
Yes.
What do you think, John?
No.
Nah. You go, no, OK. I can tell you the answer is yes. 60% of our studio audience do consider themselves to be brave. Interesting fact, I'm actually a very brave little boy. And I know that because my mummy told me. OK, John Steen, what do you like the look of?
I like the look at this guy with the beard.
OK, it was the World Beard and Moustache Championships in Germany this week. So we asked our studio audience, do you think facial hair is attractive, yes or no?
Call me sexist, but not on women, no.
John, you've got sort of the beginnings of facial hair, haven't you? You've got...
Well, this is just laziness. I just can't be arsed to shave all the time. It's just a waste of time, isn't it, shaving? It's fun, though. I grow it because it's fun. I get it just long enough that I can shave it in instalments. And I'd shave that bit first, so I get a little neat beard, and then I crop it under like that, so you get a little wanker beard. And then you leave it. I feel sorry for women that never get to do that. You never get that.
Oh, I've done that.
Roisin, what do you think?
Depends what's going on with the rest of the face. You can't judge.
How do you mean, what's going on with the rest of the face? What?
Like, it's asking, do you think facial hair is attractive is a bit like saying, do you like teeth? Like, you know...
Yes!
Yeah, but, you know...
I like teeth on a girl.
Yeah, but, you know...
I can't believe we're even having this discussion.
Like, look at Joe.
Yeah, I'm dynamite.
Do you like it? Do you actually like it?
Of course I don't. Who would like this?
It's fun, facial hair, and it's warm as well for winter. It's like a cardigan for your face. Chindigan. It's not attractive, though, is it, to answer the question? It's not sexy, is it?
OK, what do you think?
I'm adamant it's a yes. I think it's very in at the minute. Like, I mean, definitely not that. But, I mean, Joe's... Well, no, not that either. But, like, a kind of... like a designer stubble, like what John's going on, I think it's very attractive.
Well, you're very kind to say so.
Not a problem.
Have you grown a beard? Do you want to try one?
Do I want to try one?
I've brought moustaches.
Definitely.
Oh, my God.
I think that's the one for me. I sort of feel I could run quite a good regional, like a regional department store.
Yeah.
Welcome. Sean, any interest in a moustache? You're more than welcome.
Yeah. Let's have a bloke off the Pringles.
I could sell Pringles, couldn't I? What would you care for?
What about
You've got a buffet of moustaches
I
there.
do, of course I do. Would you like one, Roisin?
Yes, please.
Of course you would. Hang on. Here you go. This will look terrific on you, because I think for the blonde colouring.
Thank you.
No problem at all. Happy to help.
There's no point, Joe. Some games you can't play.
I look like a cat.
You really do look like a cat. Leave it on. I like it. It's. Leave it on for a second. I'm loving it. Did you? It's not unattractive, but you do.
I look better.
I like that. Yes, I am a murderer. It's not my fault.
In terms of attraction, though, I mean that's pretty sexy, right? Sean.
I feel like I'm in a strange nightclub and I go, oh, they like it.
I'm going to give one to. Should we give one to? Should we give John a proper moustache? It'd be lovely for him to try, wouldn't it?
Moustache, how very dare you.
Fill your boots there.
You bounder, you cad.
Well, I very much like it on you, actually. You've awakened something dark within my sexuality.
Thank you. John looks like a magician.
Is that supposed to be like this? It really hurts.
That's a really good look for you, trust me.
I'm like forgetting things. It's nipping that hard.
You look like a rival cat. You look like you've got whiskers on.
I go on for you, Joe. You can just see what you'd look like with a beard. OK, let's get some answers on this. So, do you think facial hair is attractive?
No, obviously not, no.
Oi!
Yes, sorry, yes, I mean yes. What was I thinking? I wasn't thinking.
I've nearly kissed two girls.
What do you guys think?
I think facial hair is not attractive.
So you say no, you're saying yes? I can tell you the answer is yes. 64% of our audience think facial hair is attractive. Different beards can mean different things. For example, a Santa Claus-style beard means friendly with kids, whereas a Joe Wilkinson-style beard means too friendly with kids. So at the end of that round, it's 4 points for Sean's team and 3 points for John's team. So the winner is the name of our final round. Here is your first one. Top way to pamper yourself.
Is it a sit-down wee?
On what occasion would you treat yourself to a lovely sit-down wee?
Early morning, late at night, after a big meal.
I don't think that's pampering yourself, sit down wee. Really want to pamper yourself. You know those Dyson air blades? Teabag one of them. It's risky because you've got to have 1 foot on the door as well. 1 leg up.
Actually, the facilities manager wanted me to bring that up with you, and I'm sort of looking for the right time to mention that.
Yeah, well, if you're wondering why it came off the wall.
John, how do you pamper yourself?
Just get drunk, really. Pampering, for me, as a word, means like, oh, I'm going to pamper myself senseless this weekend. I'm going to go out and get absolutely pampered.
Well, number 2 is an expensive glass of wine. So a lot of people do that as a little treat.
No, they don't. Have you been out into the world? People out there, oh, this weekend I'm going to have one good glass of wine. People don't go to Yates's at 9 o'clock and go, what is the best wine you have? Just want one glass. They go, what is the cheapest wine you have?
I've not been to a Yates's, but it's a wine lodge, yes?
Yeah.
Well, of course, you'd talk to the sommelier about what on offer, and you would order the finest wine that they had. A carton of your finest wine.
What is good on the way down and back up again?
OK. Joe, what would you do to pamper yourself?
Well, I do pamper myself. What I actually do is I have, if I really want to pamper myself, I have one of my verrucas frozen off. I love that.
It's nice, though, isn't it? It's satisfying.
Pampering can be quite creepy when people are being paid to wash your hair. And they're sort of, you always get these sort of 16-year-old girls sort of pretending they're like massage. It's awful. It's horrible. It's like really intimate and fake. It's
I love
nice.
it.
Do you?
Do you like it as well?
I quite like it, yeah.
They hate you when they're doing that, you know that?
What do you mean they hate me?
Because I used to do it when I was 14. I worked in a hairdresser's and I used to wash people's hair and they're like, oh, that's lovely. I hate you so much. Like, having to, look at this strange head I'm having to wash for £22. They hate you when it's happening, yeah.
Oh, that makes it even better.
One of the things I like to do is I like to light a load of scented candles. I get in the bath and then I just wait for whose ever house I've broken into.
What, and come out like Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now?
Through the petals.
Alex, do you pamper yourself?
Pedicures, because I get them cheap. I've always wanted to go into one of those fish foot spas with my prosthetic leg on and just say to the person next to me, like, don't leave your feet in there for too long. Because I found out the hard way. Always wanted to do that.
OK, top way to pamper yourself.
Was it not like a spa day or something?
Well, a massage is number 3. It's an everyday activity. People do it all the time, and then...
What do you mean, like eating?
Rollerblading.
It's to do with retail.
Shopping.
The right answer. Yes, the top way to pamper yourself is a shopping spree. My girlfriend goes to the off-licence every day and comes home with 3 bottles of wine. I think she might be a shopaholic. OK, worst thing to do when you're drunk?
I once tried to eat everything in my pencil case.
Chris, you're from the north. Worst thing to do when you're drunk?
Like
your specialist area.
Text while driving.
Deny it, in my experience. Pretending you're not drunk when you're clearly pissed. It's horrendous. I've had times when I can't even say the words "I'm not drunk" and still sworn blind. Oh, you know the fact you would even accuse me?
You get quite a lot older when you're drunk, don't you? It's a really
Slightly
old
Irish.
man.
Slightly Irish.
It's called acting. And I am shit at it.
Roisin, what's the worst thing you've done when you're drunk? What do you think?
I always get drunk before I go on holiday. So I've gone on holiday once with one leg shaved and fake tanned and the other one completely white. And I had to do 3 days on holiday like that. I've gone on holiday with one shoe and a bra. That's
On your
what
feet?
No, that's what I had in a suitcase. But there was 2 suitcases, and I was so drunk that I took the suitcase. It was empty, and it had a bra. It wasn't even a clean bra. It was a bra from another holiday.
OK, worst thing to do when you're drunk?
I like to go to Battersea Dogs Home, see how many dogs they'll let me have. Come on, I can take... I've got a wheelbarrow. Just put him in the wheelbarrow. I'll look after him. Don't worry. I'm fine, I'm brilliant with dogs. See if I can get about 30 dogs. Because they won't let you take them if they think you're really pissed.
They are weird.
If you
like
get
that.
into the cages and lie down with them.
What do you think, Alice? What have you done?
Send Snapchats to your female friends. So many of them don't talk to me anymore.
What's he talking about? What's a Snapchat?
It's like...
Oh, Grandad's woken up.
Do it again, I'll do it again. Oh, this was Snapchat.
Go on, what Snapchats have you
It's
sent?
like a little app on your phone, and you send a picture to someone quickly, and then it automatically deletes after 5 seconds, or how many seconds you want it to.
Why does that exist?
It's so people can send each other photos, and then they know that they're gone. They can't. The other person can't save them.
I don't understand.
Right.
I genuinely don't understand.
People send each other dirty photos and then they can't show their
Why?
mates.
It's flashing, then. So it's basically flashing. What they've done is...
It's someone that you know.
How well would you know someone before you did that?
Oh, not at all for me, but you know.
I can't just do that to your dentist or something.
You can if you should take.
Or just a plumber you used once and you kept his number. Send him a picture of your knob, and then you go.
If I'm sending a plumber a picture of my willy, I want him to have it forever.
Stripping off is never a good idea, is it?
That's the right answer. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are John, Alex and Chris have 4 points, Sean, Joe and Roisin have 5 points. They've won. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
It's Freddie Flintoff. Oh my Josh, it's Josh Widdicombe. And their team captain, John Richardson. And facing them tonight, Rise and Shine, it's Lorraine Kelly. The Smile High Club, it's Rob Beckett. And their team captain, Joe Locke. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy Carr.
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats Uncut, a show all about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 47% of people think their partner isn't interested in hearing about their day? Correct. 75% of Americans do a big weekly food shop every day. And only 29% of women reach orgasm every time they have sex. I've got a tip for those women, or if they like, I could put the whole thing in. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. Tonight, it's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 3 most talked about stories of the year. John Steen, what do you think the nation will be talking about this year?
It must be the Wimbledon final.
Oh, exciting. No.
No?
Tennis.
What's the matter with tennis?
Well, I'll be dead honest with you. I used to play the third most boring sport known to man. Cricket, only trumped by tennis and Formula 1.
Do you not like cricket?
It was a means to an end.
I thought it was an incredible thing. A British man won for the first time in 77 years.
And he hasn't won it since, Jimmy. Let's not let him off. This country hasn't had a Wimbledon winner for nearly 6 months now, and I've had enough. The sad thing, it's a boring name, Andy Murray, as well, isn't it? If his name was, like, Dick Gobbler or something, then... At least now in 50 years, when Sue Barker goes, and of course Britain hasn't had a Wimbledon men's champion since Dick Gobbler. Just going to keep hearing Andy Murray all the time.
It was weird that this whole talk about 77 years of wait is over. And actually, when he won, it was like, thought I'd feel better than that. To me, nothing really can trump that dressage gold at the Olympics.
Lorraine, you're Scottish, so presumably
I am
Andy...
well spotted.
Well, you're not like full-on Scottish. You're like
Just a wee tiny bit.
I can understand what you're saying. You're Scottish light.
OK,
Now, did it mean a lot to you? That
Oh, absolutely. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And I think it's a shame that everybody goes on about him being dour.
I don't think he is.
I don't think he's Scottish. I mean, you know.
He spreads sunshine everywhere, doesn't he?
And remember he cried. Remember he cried when he lost, and then we quite liked him because he cried. Like, no?
No, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem. I mean, the reason I don't like tennis is because I'm left-handed, and you can't play if you're left-handed. So
You can.
you can't play tennis.
You can.
You can't play tennis with your left hand.
Yes, you can. You can do whatever you like.
There's no left-handed tennis players.
There is.
Other than Nadal?
There's loads.
He's all right. That's his greatest trick, is making us think he's using his left hand. if you hit the ball, if you have a tennis ball, if you've got the right hand, you hit it, it goes that way. But if you've got your left hand, you hit it, it goes behind you. So I have to play backwards like that. There's someone shouting me where the ball's coming. That's why I gave up. This is a stupid game. I'm with Freddie on this.
And the worst thing about it is, as well, you go to Wimbledon, I went for 10 minutes once. They put fruit in your drink. Fruit in your drink?
Did you, like, order a pint of John Smith's, and then when you weren't looking, they were shoving strawberries?
But you're a tennis fan, aren't you, Jimmy? You like your tennis.
I love it. I think it's incredible.
Why is tennis incredible?
It's like cricket, but instead of him hitting it and it going at 50 yards
I'm
away.
not protecting cricket here. I know it's boring.
Do you like
I've got no... There's no two ways about it.
Given that the exciting bit of cricket is when he hits it, imagine if the guy at the other end hit it straight back.
OK, let's have a look and see if it's up there. Of course it is. Yes, in July, Andy Murray won Wimbledon for the first time. Sue Barker presented Murray with the trophy 77 years after she presented it to Fred Perry. All across Scotland, people stopped what they were doing to watch the historic match. They paused Braveheart, put down their crack pipes, turned off the proclaimers and finished... and finished frantically searching between their toes for a viable vein to salute Murray's amazing victory. Sean's team, what do you think the nation will be talking about this year?
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm still riding high on the royal baby news.
Oh.
It's hard to come down from that, isn't it? There's very few moments in your life that give you that sort of, like, just buzz.
Any parenting advice for them, Sean? You've got kids. Anything you would pass on to this young couple embarking on the adventure of parenthood?
Oh, it's hard. Mind you, I don't do a lot of it, so...
It's really, that's more advice for William, isn't it?
It looks pretty hard. From where I'm phoning from, it looks really hard.
Rob, what do you make of the royal baby?
Well, I love the bit they got takeaway. They got pizzas, didn't they? Kate and William
to the
got
hospital,
you got the bodyguard to go and collect the pizzas, and everyone's saying, "Why don't you just get them delivered?" But it's half price, isn't it? If you get them collected. Well, you've got a kid on the way. You've got to start thinking about money, ain't you?
Lorraine, did you cover it much on the show? You covered
Oh,
it.
much? It was just like all the time, pretty much all the time.
Some people got annoyed with the amount of coverage they had to do. Some news reporters got a little bit sort of sick of it. Now, have a look at this.
Not everybody is enjoying the spectre of the speculation, endless speculation. A couple of texts coming in to the BBC. Come on, BBC, people do have babies. Stop saying the same thing over and over. Give us the rest of the news. What a load of sycophantic rubbish, says another. Good morning. And God help us if this ends up a long labour. That's a view that I have heard expressed here by a couple of people. So, you know, we'll just wait and see. But until then, we're going to be speculating about this royal birth with no facts to hand at the moment.
You've sort of got to admire his honesty there. He's just going,
I actually like that. I like when people just say it as it is. Very refreshing.
John, what do you make of it?
Well, it's obviously significant, isn't it? But the coverage of it was... Because it was there, it was a 12-hour labour, which is double what she'd done to that point in her life.
Freddie, were you excited about the royal birth?
No.
No.
It's nice. Everyone has children. I've got 3 myself, but we didn't get that sort of billion.
Would you give any advice to the royal parents? Kate,
Yeah, you've got to get him into a strict routine, make him sleep through early doors.
I imagine that's easier for you than most parents because you are terrifying. So if you say to your baby, go to sleep, it'll go, all right.
To be fair, compared to a baby, everyone's quite terrifying. Like, compared to a baby, I'm quite intimidating.
No, not you. Not a good example to pick. You look younger than the royal baby.
Oh, he does. But he's so cute. No, I know, but you're cute. Looking at me face, you're so cute. You know what? When you're 90, you'll still look like that. You'll be glad.
I didn't come on here to be flirted with by Lorraine. Do you know the last time I met Lorraine? I've only met Lorraine once, and I want to kind of clear this up because you had a very similar approach of kind of flirt patronisation. And then just before I left, I was getting in the taxi from this show, and as the door was closing, you said, if I was 20 years younger, and the door closed. And I've got no idea how that sentence ended.
You'd be an embryo.
I think she meant if I was 20 years younger.
All right, let's have a look and see if it's up there. Of course. Yes, Prince William and Kate had a baby boy this year. When George was christened, Kate and William decided to shun fuddy-duddy royal tradition and chose university friends to be godparents. So they chose Lord Trumpington Smedleyposh, Tarquin Farquhar II and Lady Poshington Toffeenose of the Norfolk Toffeenoses. OK, fingers on buzzers. One more thing still to get. What do you think?
Is it the old gay thing? Marriage. They're doing that now, aren't they? That's allowed now. There's a thing gone in the Lords, you know, some sort of rule. You know, when stuff happens, old people make a decision, then there's a law, gay people can get married. Is that right?
Yeah. They still can't get married in church, can they?
No. Like that?
No, but they can get married.
Yeah, but the Church of England has said... I don't know where the Catholic Church stands on this.
I think they've said no.
They've said no as well. Which I think is fine crazy, really, because what they should do, they should test the actual power of their faith by having a gay marriage in the church. And if it bursts into flames, it's obviously not a good idea and God doesn't like it. And that, because God would let you know if he thought something was really out of order.
Of course
I mean, he hasn't done with other stuff, to be fair. He's let quite a lot slip through the net.
I think it's a good thing. I really do.
Definitely.
Because, like, my best mate is Paddy. If I married Paddy, I could go to football with him. We could play PlayStation. We would never argue. The sex is a problem.
Go IKEA and just have meatballs. That'd be quality, wouldn't it? No furniture, meatballs, then home. Perfect IKEA trip.
Well, I really think we've got to the heart of this issue.
The arguments against it are the best thing, because there are people who are just against it because they're slightly homophobic, but they can't say that, so they have to quickly come up with a... Like Norman Tebbit, who went, what if we had a lesbian queen? I think that's the tribute band this country has been waiting for.
Well, the thing is that the people against it always go, oh, it's promoting homosexuality, but it's not promoting it like you'll get swept up in it. It's not a choice if you're gay or not. Do you know what I mean? It's not like if someone keeps banging on about it, you're going to give it a go, like the 5-2 diet. Do you know what I mean? It's sexuality, not Pilates. Do you know, you're not going to get swept away by other people's recommendations.
The Gambian president said it's going to lead to the end of humanity. I would believe that if we found some evidence that that had led to the end of the dinosaurs. If we dug up a dinosaur and he was, you know, with a rainbow flag...
Is this your idea for Jurassic Park 6?
Jurassic Park 6?
Actually, the Tyrannosaurus has something of the...
He's nice. People say, oh, it's going to... If it's ruined, it overshadows family life, it's going to ruin the kind of institution of the family. It's not. No dad is going to go, oh, sorry, I forgot to pick you up from school, because I was marrying a man. I'm not just going out, going, oh, I can do it now, I'm going to marry John. I'm not...
I'll do it.
No, I'm not going to do that now.
Well, it's on camera now, isn't it?
Oh, please get married, then you can come on my show. It'd be lovely. We could do like a lovely makeover on both of you, and it'd be gorgeous.
What's the problem with what we look like now?
Well, no, there's nothing wrong with you now, but if you're getting married, for goodness sake, you're going to take this seriously. If you're getting married, you have to look better.
Well, I can tell you, gay marriage is not in our top 3. Now that gay people can get married, there's going to be an explosion of extravagant, flamboyant and over-the-top weddings. Move over, fat gypsies, it's about to get fabulous. Fingers on buzzers.
Is it Edward Snowden who kind of spread a load of secrets about the USA and then went on the run? And then no country would take him. And there was a point where, like, every country was going, Ecuador was saying no and Russia was saying no, and you're thinking, he's going to have to go through clearing. He's going to end up extradited to Nottingham-Trent. That's how this is. They described him as the world's most fuckable nerd. Disastrous for John, who's been knocked off tonsils.
My favourite quote of his was, I don't want to live in a world where everything I say is recorded, which he said in a recorded interview with the Guardian newspaper.
Apparently his girlfriend's a ballerina and a pole dancer. No one is ever a ballerina and a pole dancer. It's like when you say I'm an actor and I work in a call centre as well. I'm so busy.
What do you make of Edward Snowden, Sean?
I think what's interesting about him is his name, Edward Snowden. He doesn't sound like a spy. Weirdly, he sounds like a newsreader, which he sort of is, but nobody wants him to be.
You've lost me on this one. I thought we were talking about a mountain in Wales.
There's a man called Edward Snowden, and he's leaked 58,000 documents detailing how the US government spies on other secret agencies around the world.
He don't play tennis, does he?
He's not involved in sport in any way, so...
He's all right, then.
Do you like any sport?
Not really.
Are you Freddie Flintoff?
Freddie looks a bit like if me and Josh combined forces and turned into an actual grown-up man. He might look like Freddie.
Yeah.
I've had some insults in my time, that is the
So, Edward Snowden, any thoughts on
Well,
anything?
I just think it's really strange. You know, we saw very recently, we saw the sort of 3 spy chiefs that were actually brought before the government. And they've been having a real go at him, obviously. And it was really, really disappointing. I don't want to see my spy chiefs in real true life. I want to, in my head, think that they're James Bond. And and they just look like 3 blokes.
I wanted one of them to pick up their pen and go and click it, and then the guy dies.
I know. Well, that would have been
click it, and the guy's head explodes. You go, oh, sorry, wrong pen.
But nothing like that happened, and that was disappointing.
That Julian Assange bloke, he's been cooped up in that embassy, is it?
In Ecuador?
Ecuadorian embassy. And he's in a room, and all he's got is a space for a mattress on the floor and 1 chair. Do you know what I mean? And he went, oh, no, it's all right, it's like living in a space station. Like, if this whistleblowing don't work out, he should be an estate agent. It's like showing you a room with no roof going, but who don't like stars? Do you know what I mean? Who needs a roof when you got up there?
I'm bored of him. He's such a boring man, isn't he?
It's dreadful.
He looks pasty and ill.
You're sitting next to Josh when you're saying that. I'm pretty sure we booked your ghost. Look at you. If I didn't have your name written down, I would think Casper was here. You look...
I'm ill.
He's not well. The wee soul's not well. Be nice. He's not well.
I don't think he's got long. I think we should record, and this show's dedicated to Josh Widdicombe, who sadly passed away during the record.
When you say during the record, that implies that you wouldn't finish the record.
Of course we'd finish the record. Who do you think you are?
To be fair, I've seen you die on a panel show before anyway, Josh.
OK. Well, I can tell you, Edward Snowden is not one of the most talked about things. OK, fingers on buzzers, one more thing to get. What was the other big story this year? What do you think, Sean?
It's the tragic... Thatcher's death is just dreadful. I'd find it very hard to talk about it without breaking down. And the way I found out was particularly hard because I was actually driving to Yeovil, I had a gig in Yeovil, and I didn't have the radio on. And I thought something had happened because a man drove past me the other way, punching the roof of his car. Literally, he's got this going, woohoo! I thought, I'll switch the radio on, and that's how I heard the news.
Protesters in Brixton chanted Maggie, 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 dead, 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 and then rearranged the local cinema, now showing board, to say this.
You went to the cinema that night and you're going, well, shall I see Maggie Thatcher's Dead or shall I watch LOL?
My favourite thing was the CNN's coverage in America when they showed this picture of Margaret Thatcher. That is the archive picture. They didn't know who the man was. Oh. They went with that picture.
What's weirder is I've got the same haircut. Look at him. How does that work? How are you having your hair, Jim? Thatcher's coming to town.
Lorraine, what did you think of Margaret Thatcher? Feminist icon? What do you think? First female Prime Minister?
I don't think she did very much for women. I think she could have done a lot more for women when she was in power, and she didn't. She wasn't a woman's woman, shall we say. So, no, I don't think she was a feminist icon at all. I think you have to admire her achievements.
Through gritted teeth?
Kind of, yes.
I don't think she was a person's woman. I always say, I mean, when it happened, you know, there were people who had parties. I mean, I didn't have a party. I mean, it was drinks, nibbles, a few friends. You wouldn't call it a party. I just feel a lot of tribute that should have been made. They should have done a really fitting tribute, which is when they cremated her, they ran out of coal.
Also, they brought her up on a gun carriage. They always have these gun carriages. Just once, you're going, fire her into the church. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? What a waste of a gun carriage.
But she lived in the Ritz. Who lives in the Ritz? What a ridiculous place to live.
Someone who doesn't want to pay council tax.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a look and see whether it's one of the top stories of the year. The top story. So those were the most talked about stories, but also the horse meat scandal erupted this year. When I eat a burger, I want my animal lips, hooves, testicles, spinal cord, eyeballs and arseholes to be mechanically blasted off cow carcasses, not horses. It's disgusting. And a new pope was elected. The previous pope retired, pulled out early. Typical Catholic. So at the end of that round, John's team have 1 point, Sean's team have 2 points. So our next round is pick of the polls. John, Freddie, Josh, pick a question.
Can we have the tennis player?
OK, cricket. Here's your question. Most people prefer playing sport to watching it on TV. True or false? What do you think?
I never liked playing sport because I was very unsporting.
Really?
I'm not very good at sport. When we did the cross-country, by the time I finished, they'd packed away the finish line. So essentially, I'm still running that race to this day.
Playing sport to me is like, would you put something in the bin or would you throw it from the other side of the room? And in that sense, but I will still, if I've got an hour spare, I'll stand in front of my living room wall with a tennis ball and I'll bounce it against the wall like I'm a goalkeeper that's been lobbed. And I have to run back and just tip it over the couch. And I'll happily do that for an hour.
I've done that.
You should probably buy a telly, mate. Lorraine, are you sporty? Do you
No, well, I don't really do very much sport, but I love to watch football. And
you watch football? Who's your team?
Dundee United.
OK, and you like football as well?
Yeah. We've got the most handsome manager. He's gorgeous, and we have got the most beautiful strips. Fantastic colour, tangerine and black.
What I like, Lorraine, is you're really moving the idea of what a female football fan like really forward.
Sean, you watch a lot of sport, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, playing-wise, kabaddi's my game. I love kabaddi.
Is that the one you've got to breathe out?
It's so hard to find other people who take it seriously. Yeah.
What, kabaddi? No,
Yeah.
I mean...
No, I would think the weird thing is about these days is if you say watching sport, if you haven't got Sky, you've got no choice. You have to play it. Because there's no sport on any other channels, is there? It's all on Sky, isn't it? What sports have the BBC got anymore?
If you want to see what kind of sports the BBC have got, I've got a clip, an archive clip of the BBC. This is one of their greatest sporting moments. Have a little look.
At least Britons will never be slaves to the dartboard. Certainly, no one's anxious to play with champion Joe Hitchcock around. The start of his 6-inch nail act is the moment for everyone to watch. When not at a holiday camp, you'll likely find him astounding the regulars in pubs all over the country. For Joe's ability to throw a pretty dart has earned him a job with a leading brewery.
OK, so most people prefer playing sport to watching on TV. What do you think?
I don't know. I've done the cricket, which 5 days stood in the field is tough. It's probably tougher to watch. And then I tried the boxing.
Just in case people don't know the story, so you trained to be a professional fighter and had a professional fight against an American?
It was a strange thing because the boxing, which I found was... It's quite a camp sport. We went for the weigh-in. You strip down to your underpants. You stand in front of a man eyeballing him in front of a room full of other men. And I'm stood at this fella thinking, what am I doing? We did
I suppose you're competing for a belt and a purse. It is quite camp.
Yeah.
You won the fight, didn't you?
Yeah, I wouldn't like it to be investigated. I did win, yes.
Yeah.
What happened to him? I mean, has he won any other fights since?
He could not return to America. He's been beaten in a boxing ring by a cricketer who is soft as shit.
When you say you're as soft as shit, I mean, you're sitting next to two people that are maybe like, no offence, fellas, but maybe a little bit softer.
I think I could beat up...
He stood up too quickly and felt faint there.
I think I'd beat John in a boxing match. No?
Well, let's do it.
I reckon we should...
Fight,
I reckon we should do this.
Fight.
This isn't the Middle Ages or the schoolyard.
The Middle Ages?
Is that not the kind of trash-talking people do?
You've not quite acquired the taste of trash talking. No, I would beat you tomorrow.
Would you like a knuckle sandwich?
You won't be able to eat any you won't be able to eat any sandwiches without any teeth.
I'll lend you some, Josh.
He's like John Bishop's love child, isn't he? He's got...
Mine are real, though. These are whitened, didn't they?
Yours are really like that.
Yeah, these are au naturel.
Oh, yeah.
Did you fall in something as a child?
I don't know what...
Can you eat an apple through a fence?
Yeah, these are just what they're like. I can't help it.
And you haven't had anything done, like Jimmy's had done?
It's like my mum drank a lot of milk when she was pregnant, and my dad's an horse. That's...
OK, let's get answers on this. So most people prefer playing sport to watching on TV. True or false? What are you going to go for, John?
True.
False.
Oh, I'm right in the middle. He's bigger. True.
What are you going to go for, Sean?
Well, false. Just to make it a bit competitive. A bit of fun. Let's put some money on. How much do you reckon?
I'll put a tenner on it.
Yeah. How many markets are in play? Now. Whatever that means. Loads of markets in play. Now.
So you said true, you said false. I tell you the answer is false. Only 36% of people prefer playing sport to watching on TV. OK, Sean's team, what do you like the look of?
I think the wee women.
Hiding behind the bush.
OK. A recent survey revealed that 50% of people don't know their neighbours' names. So we asked our studio audience, do you try and avoid contact with your neighbours, yes or no? Do you get on with your neighbours, Rob?
I try and get on with them, but I think they avoid me, to be honest with you. I like a chat, and sometimes they just want to shoot straight off. Look, I panic if I see my neighbours outside of, like, the house, like, near the house environment. When you see them in the high street, I just get panicked because it's a new situation. There's no small talk to go like, oh, the bins ain't been done. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing... Like, you're in the high street, it's like, oh... And, like, the worst part is when you see someone, they see you, and then they try and avoid me. I'm like, no, you're the dickhead. I think it's because I talk a lot.
Sean, do you avoid your neighbours?
Well, especially when I'm breaking into their shed, yeah. Try to keep a very low profile. I'm very, you know, amenable to a bit of neighbourly... I mean, I don't like go too far. I don't want car keys in a bowl or anything like that, but... what I do, I find a very good way to catch your neighbours out, is I paint myself like a gnome. Right. No, just relax. I break out of character. And I go, oh, about the recycling.
Lorraine, do you avoid your neighbours?
No, not really. Because I live in Scotland and down here, I find it quite different. Up there, everybody talks to everybody. And down here, people are more reserved. In London, certainly, they're more reserved, and you don't really see them very often. And
reserved is a very nice way to put it, I think. So reserved, they will tell you to fuck off to your face.
And everybody does that horrible thing, you know, when you're in the lift, as you were saying about you don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And everybody sort of never knows what to say, and they're looking at their feet and sort of looking at one another, and it's all a bit sort of awkward.
You know why they're doing that? Is because there's nothing to say in a lift.
But you have to try and think of something.
You don't, because what you do is you go, oh, we're in a lift, aren't we? You know, interesting fact, we're higher up than we were when I started this conversation.
Freddie, do you have neighbours?
Yeah, I lived down south for a while, which was a bit different. It's like people don't talk to people down south. You walk down the high street and you say, morning. It's like, fucking northerner, who's going to mug me? Move back north, which is lovely. You take your bin out, you have a chat with a neighbour as you do it. It's just common decency.
I grew up on Dartmoor. So essentially this question is, do you ever talk to that sheep?
And the answer is?
No, just kiss.
One of my neighbours came round once, and this is the other reason.
There you go, that's the end of that story.
They can hear me, because you know rooms have got vents in. My shower's got a vent that leads right outside. They can hear the voices I'm doing around my house. And I was walking along the corridor. I like to pick a song and sing it in a regional accent. That's what I get up to.
Can you give me an example of this, John? Give us an example.
Well, you give me a song, you give me a regional accent.
MC Hammer, you can't touch this.
In what accent? Pick one of the ones that I'm allowed to do on telly.
Oh, they're different ones for home, are they? A Jamaican patois.
You can't touch this. It's a fun game to play until the door goes and you think, oh, there are other people in the world. And the door went, it was one of my neighbours, and he went, oh, do you live here? And I thought, well, I'm not a confident burglar, am I? So, and I was embarrassed, and then he went, my rabbit's got under the fence. And he was a grown man, so I ended up winning that one. Grown man with a rabbit, what are you doing, mate?
Do you get on with your neighbours?
Well, you sort of have to have a relationship with your neighbours now, don't you? Because I get pissed and order stuff on the internet, and then I'm not there when it gets delivered. There was a day when I ordered 10 kilograms of fish food, some extra wide razor blades, and a mannequin's head. You can't really just pick that up and go, right, Neil, can you give me them parcels there, mate? I was out.
What kind of pissed were you?
I was that pissed when you think, I need to deal with this shit. So I've had enough. There was some fish in my garden that I didn't know about.
I'm going to feed the fish and then kill myself.
Well, the razor blades were for a wallpaper stripper, an extra wide one, and the mannequin's head is because I had a hat and I didn't know where to put it.
OK, so let's get some answers on this. We asked our audience, do you try and avoid contact with your neighbours, yes or no? What do you think, Sean?
Yes.
Yes, you think they do?
Yes.
No.
I can tell you it's close, but the answer is no. Only 45% of our studio audience try and avoid contact with their neighbours. I think it's important to know your neighbours' names. Harold, Madge, and, of course, Toadfish. And the winner is the name of our final round. And here's your question. Best way to save money?
An ISA.
Die. Cheap, thrifty, innit? Low overheads. Or, another money-saving tip, always fill up at a supermarket just off the motorway, never at a service station. Cook a big dinner and freeze half of it, and never enter relationships or have any friends. Is that the answer?
Well, it's a depressing glimpse into your life.
What about getting a dead beastie?
A dead beastie?
Dead beastie in your hand,
right.
And then going out for a meal, and then putting the dead beastie in the meal and then going, eek! Like that, and then they give you the free dinner.
Does that work in Dundee? I imagine if they find a wee beastie, they just go, protein.
What do you class as a beastie?
Well, a wee animal or something, or a half a worm, or...
Half a one? What are you doing the other half? Save that for next week.
Don't get carried away. Don't put a fox in a spaghetti.
Yeah.
There's a fox in my spaghetti. This is unacceptable. Freddie, you ever saved money?
Yeah, shop at Giacomo.
Giacomo, for those of you that don't know, is a clothing brand for giants. Do you do clothes for regular-sized people?
Well, it depends how you look at it. I am classed as a medium within Giacomo.
You're a medium?
And it goes up to
Who are they making clothes for? John, Freddie, could you just stand up just so we get an idea of for a second?
Let's make me look like a dick again.
No, I don't think you're... Freddie, if you could just stand up.
Off you get, wee man.
John is a reasonable... Now...
I reckon the phone and toilet...
OK, best way to save money?
You might be tempted sometimes to think that an £8 haircut is probably worth the saving. But as someone who's had one...
They've shaved a little bit off there, haven't they?
Yeah. There's too much of me, I think that's what he thought. Too big you are. I'll try and trim you down at the side so you're not so intimidating for people.
You did get in that £8 a free pom-pom on the top.
Well, that putting your big shop through as loose onions in a self-service. Old trolley, £3.81.
I don't understand that.
Basically, self-service, put it all through and just pretend it's onions.
You pretend it's onions. What, you actually trick yourself into thinking it's onions?
I think it's onions. Don't let them know what you're doing. Press onions on the thing, weigh it, Before you know it, you've got a fucking trolley full of onions, mate. It's into food.
OK, best way to save money. It's to do with food.
What's
to do with food.
Eat less.
Eat in.
It's the right answer. Yeah. Yes, the best way to save money is not to eat out. The problem is, whenever I go to a restaurant, my girlfriend always orders the most expensive thing on the menu, a Zinger Tower Burger. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final score side, 3 points for Sean's team, 3 points to John's team. It's a draw. Everyone's a winner. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
It's Claudia Winkleman. Return of the Jack. It's Jack Dee. And their team captain, Joe Wilkinson. And facing them tonight, curls allowed, it's Josh Widdicombe. He's a stand-up guy. It's Trevor Noah. Their team captain, John Richardson. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy.
And welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 20% of Brits always reread an email before sending it? It's a good idea. Last week, I nearly sent an email saying, I is very interested in your penis enlargement system. I is. Cringe. 10% of Brits ignore medical symptoms, which is fine. Don't worry about those shooting pains in your chest. That's just your body's way of telling you you need another steak bake. And 48% of women believe stress makes them unattractive. What you've done there, ladies, is confuse the word stress with jeggings. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 5 most popular talking points. John's team, what do you think the nation should be talking about this week?
Alex Salmond has launched his manifesto for how Scotland will cope after independence. And I can speak with some authority on this because I own a Proclaimers album and have seen Trainspotting. So, do you need any facts on Scotland? Have you been to Scotland? Do you like it?
I've been to Edinburgh. It was fun. I didn't understand anything, but it was nice. And people were like, oh, you must have haggis. You must have haggis. It's crazy. It's not crazy. It's just unnecessary. I'm confused by the whole Scottish thing, though, because the world is, we don't understand. So Britain, because, Britain is not a country, but then you guys have a national anthem that you sing as Britain, and then you get medals as Britain in the Olympics, but then you're not a country, which is cheating, technically. This is just me asking on behalf of the world. We want to know how it works. Because we didn't know that Scotland wasn't a part of it, because they use...
Right, they are, but they're going to leave. Or they might.
To go where? They can't go anywhere. Where are they going to go? I don't understand this. This is confusing.
No, well, I'll tell you what's happened. So Alex Salmond, the First Minister of Scotland, has outlined the SNP's blueprint for Scottish independence ahead of next September's referendum. Some of the white paper key pledges, I'll just give you the key things. I'd say the Queen will remain head of state, Trident nuclear weapons will have to go, popular BBC programmes will stay, but they'll only air on a newly formed Scottish broadcasting service.
And no one's asked the Queen if she wants to be head of state. They said, oh, when we go, the Queen will still be head of state. She might go, no, bollocks.
I think the new Scotland sounds brilliant. I read his white paper. They keep CBeebies, they get the Queen, they chuck off all the Trident. We should all go there. We should all go, yeah, you do whatever you want, you vote, and then just move in.
Sean, do you think we'd be better off without Scotland?
I think it's inevitable. If I was Scottish, I'd vote for independence. I would, immediately. Because you think
you can't vote immediately, it's not for another 10 months. So that would be a waste of vote.
Sorry. I mean, what I'd do, if I was Scottish, I'd turn it into a tax haven.
Oh, now you're talking.
Yeah.
Not everyone in Scotland is for independence. Take a look at some Glasgow Rangers fans and what they think about it.
Oh, it's on and it's a twat, it's a twat. Oh, it's on and it's a twat, it's a twat.
Why is he a twat?
Because he wants to break up in union. And he shags grannies. He's a granny shagger.
That's from the Scottish Newsnight, I believe.
I was in favour, but now I know he shags grannies. I'm changing my mind. I don't have any time for independence. When I grew up in the West Country, and there was the talk of Cornish independence.
Only among you and your friends.
No, I was from Devon, so I don't think...
It's the same.
That's the most offensive thing you've ever said.
Not even close.
Don't Devon want to be independent as well?
No, we can't.
What do you mean you can't?
Well, we're in between Cornwall and
That
Britain.
doesn't stop you. Look where France is, between Spain and Germany.
You struggled with that one, then, didn't you?
Really, the analogy I use is it's a bit like a relationship. And I'm beginning to feel like a bit of a spurned lover in this thing, you know? You know when you're in a relationship and the other party says, oh, I don't know if this is right anymore, I feel like saying, well, if you don't want it, go. In fact, you know what? We should do it not on whether you keep the pound or nuclear weapons, do it on music, right? We keep the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and the Who and the Jam and the Clash, and they can take their Best of Delamitri CD and stick it up their arse.
It is like a relationship. I think we should dump them first.
Yeah.
You know when you know you're going to be dumped and you think, if I get in there first, this is going to save a lot of face? Because I think otherwise it's going to be David Cameron turning up at Hadrian's Wall drunk at 3 a.m. going, fuck you, are you shagging Denmark? Is that what you're doing?
Instead of independence, they should have like a trial separation period.
See how it goes.
Well,
See how
couples
it
do
goes.
it, yeah.
And for a year, we don't go up there. And they don't come down here.
And do we view the Welsh as like our kids? We've both got equal
We get
rights
the Welsh
there?
every other weekend.
Yeah.
Strictly, I would be for the union, but if it means we don't have the guy on the co-op adverts who says, good with food, I am willing to change my vote, because there are 4 O's in that sentence, and he just willfully ignores every one of them. And then has the cheek to say he works for the co-op. Well, by your rules, mate, you work for the cup. Pick and choose.
Let's have a look and see if it's up there. Yes! Alex Salmond has unveiled the SNP's plans for Scottish independence. Following independence, the BBC would be replaced by the Scottish Broadcasting Service, leading to new Scottish programmes such as No Cash in the Attic, Doctor Who You Looking At, Dragon's Crack Den, Q Ockeye, and Skagpuss. Sean, Claudia, Jack, what have the nation been talking about this week?
They've been talking about Doctor Who because it was the anniversary, 50 years,
Yeah.
an enormous hoo-ha.
I guess so. I don't watch it, but...
You don't watch it?
No.
Is that because you're crouched behind the settee in your house, scared?
No, I just know it's not for me. Like, everyone said everyone loves Doctor Who. Well, is it 9 million viewers?
I think 10.2 million viewers.
Well, there's 50 million wild people who didn't watch it. There's 50 million. I'm more normal than the people who watched it. I watched a bit of it once. I thought, this is stupid, this show. Like, there's no rules. Anything can happen. The writers must just sit down and go, we can do whatever we want. They could cut and paste a couple of pages of Teletubbies script in the middle of the show and nobody would notice. Nobody would go, that's a bit odd. Some Teletubbies have wandered on and made some toast and custard. And it just carries on. It's a load of bollocks. And there's 55 million of us can't be wrong. None of them are in. None of them are in.
John Hurt, he got the role of Doctor Who between when it was on TV originally and then when it was brought back. Which isn't a job, is it?
No.
That's like going, oh, I'm an actor. I played Bilbo Baggins between the first Hobbit movie and the second Hobbit movie.
I sort of believe you were the Hobbit between the films. I'd buy that. My favourite quote about John Hurt was Ian McShane, apparently they're mates, and he said, "Oh, I'm surprised he got Doctor Who because he can't even use a mobile phone," thus completely disregarding the whole concept of acting. I'm surprised to see Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park because, to my knowledge, he's never met a dinosaur.
I don't get the new actors and stuff, because what they said it's good for children, because it teaches them about death. But it doesn't, does it? Because, basically, there's children now going around, well, at least when my gran dies, she'll turn into Peter Capaldi.
In fairness, when your gran dies, that really does teach you about death, doesn't it?
Especially if you pushed her.
Trevor, have you seen Doctor Who? You're from South Africa.
I'm enjoying this. I've never seen any of...
You've never seen Doctor Who?
I know Doctor Who's big, and in South Africa there's a lot of white people that enjoy it, and... You know, the one thing I know about Doctor Who is recently they had the whole black Doctor Who discussion. They always have that. They had it with James Bond, and now they had it with Doctor Who. They said, oh, when are we going to have a black Doctor Who? It's never. Like, no, I don't think it makes sense. Like, why would you, if you're an alien, why would you choose to be black? If you're trying to be, like, in disguise and going to places, it's just not... It's just like James Bond, he can't be black, because you can't blend in Moscow when you're black. Like, you can't... Because then it takes away this... He has to introduce himself. My name's Bond, James, but if you're black, then you walk in and people, it's Mr. Bond, Mr. Bond. Mr. Bond, everybody knows you. Don't force it. Just make another doctor or something.
Let's have a look and see if Doctor Who is up there. The most talked about thing. Yes, the 50th anniversary episode of Doctor Who was watched by 10 million people. True Doctor Who fans are called Whovians, and once they've left the room, dweebs, nerds and virgins. OK, John's team, what do you think the nation will be talking about this week?
Is it the football fixing scandal? Ooh. Apparently, there's been kind of all kinds of fixing in lower league games. I don't think it's an issue. These people aren't earning that much money in the lower leagues. When I used to work at Waterstones, if someone had offered me 50 grand to put a book under the wrong letter, I'd have done it. These people need the money.
Yeah, but the difference is nobody was cheering for you to put the book under the right letter.
No,
that would be hard. If I was your fan, if I was there watching, going, come on, Josh, you can do it. W, W. And then you were like, oh, C, and then,
What I don't understand is how it took them so long to work it out. My first question would have been, why are Asian people betting millions of pounds on the Northern Conference East? That would have been if I've got a mate and we're going, oh, I'm just going to nip into the bookies. Oh, what are you betting on? Oh, Shanghai Tigers are playing this week. So you don't seem to know anything about the Chinese football.
As a Plymouth fan, I hope we have been fixing matches, because the other explanation is that we're shit.
Best chant I ever heard at a football ground was from Plymouth fans. I went to see Leyton Orient, and Plymouth were playing. And at one point they went, "Are you watching Exeter?" And there was 0-0.
Our rivalry with Exeter is very vicious. I remember we played Exeter when their players got sent off, and Plymouth fans shouted, "You dirty northern bastards." They're 20 miles up the A38.
Claudia, what do you think of this match fixing?
Well, good. I think everything should be fixed, and we should be... So then we don't have to watch it.
We don't even have to do it. We don't really have to do it. If we all agree that Plymouth beat Exeter 3-0...
Who cares? Let's all have a nap. A, it's way too long, the football. 2, there aren't enough goals. I like, put goals all the way... Make it inside.
Put goals all the way round.
All the way round.
I was with you for a bit, and then when you said that, I think you should be removed from the committee for football improvement.
If I was a gambling man, I'm not really, but I can understand why you would want to fix the match, because obviously it reduces the odds a lot, doesn't it? You're more likely to win if you can get an organised crime gang behind you to make the result what you bet on.
Would you like to win this evening, Jack?
Win what?
We're playing a game.
Oh.
Are there scores on this game?
Oh, for fuck's sake,
What are the
Jack.
rules? I'm going to throw it. I'm going to throw this episode.
I'll
Been
do
doing
it.
quite a good job already, but... Ask me a question.
What else have the nation been talking about?
Right,
let's have a look and see if it's up there. Yes, indeed. Yeah, 6 people have been arrested for match fixing in English football. It's the worst ever fix-it scandal. Wow, second worst. Sean's team.
Is it the fantastic news? I mean, there's good news and there's really good news.
Yeah.
That Iran have agreed to stop enriching uranium beyond 5% and to neutralise their stockpile of already enriched uranium. And if you told me that at the beginning of the year, I'd have said, you're dreaming, mate. And they've pulled it off just before Christmas as well. And that's just, you know, I don't need any presents now.
It all sounds very Back to the Future to me. 5% of uranium, what will that power? Like a Breville? I mean, how much?
It's basically, you get really strong fireworks.
Is that what it is?
Amazing fireworks. You go, Jesus Christ! But you can't make bombs.
I think, basically they've agreed to not have uranium that they can use to make weapons.
I don't know why it's such a big thing, though. Like, America runs all of it, and they're the only people that have used the nukes, which is like the only person with the criminal record is going, oh, oh, oh. I know what you guys will do. We're like, what? What we did. Everyone's got the nukes, and they're telling them not to have them. Well, except Germany. Germany doesn't have nukes because they're very sorry for what happened before. So, but everyone...
The Germans can't, because they'll do it again. We all know that. So sure, as eggs is eggs, the Germans will do it again. They made some mistakes, obviously, last time. They'll do it better, PR, etc. But
they can't have them in the house, basically. It's like me and What's-Its. I can't have them in the house. I know what I'm like. I know what I'm like. I'll eat them.
They do have sort of questionable human rights. Everyone's getting excited at the moment because the president is on Facebook and Twitter. But in Iran, it's called Covered Up Facebook. And if your wife misbehaves, it's perfectly acceptable Twitter.
Well, I can tell you, it's not one of the most talked about things this week, but Iran has signed a historic nuclear deal. Some have long suspected that Iran is secretly developing a nuclear bomb, a charge strenuously denied by Iran's head of secret nuclear bomb development. OK, fingers on buzzers, 2 more things to get.
Is it not bras, that's right. Yeah, Queen's bra maker.
What happened?
Yeah. They wouldn't let me in. I said, let me in! I just want to be in the changing rooms. That's all I wanted.
What's the big deal?
I just want to be in a room where the Queen's had her tits out. That's
Yeah.
all. Let me in!
Sean, are you trying to throw this?
Yeah. No, is it the Bulgarians and the Romanians are gathering like a storm cloud of evil on the shores of Calais, about to invade our country? And similar to the Vikings, very similar to the Vikings came to burn our houses down. They're coming to do them up. It's the scaremongering of scurrilous papers like the Mail and the Express and Nigel Farage about Bulgarians and Romanians. We don't even know what they're good at yet. They're not here. Like the Irish are good at roads, Polish are good at plumbing. Bulgarians, fingers crossed, it's Knickerbocker glories.
I think it would be very nice if a Romanian came over and actually got the job of running UKIP and actually turfed Farage out. Someone called Nigel Faratsky or something.
Came in and undercut him.
Came in and undercut him, said, I can do this for less.
OK. David Cameron has announced benefit restrictions to migrants, so in a bid to curb the number of people coming to the UK. What would you do, Claudia, if you wanted to discourage people from coming to the UK?
Well, just show them a picture.
Show them a picture of the orange people that you guys have. Those people are weird.
What's orange people?
Yeah.
That's me!
You're judging people by the colour of their skin.
That's not skin, my friend. That's not
How dare
skin.
you? How dare you?
That is not skin.
Not the kind of thing we do here.
Is it? Can we not just have like a slogan like Britain so shit even the Scottish want to leave?
But didn't they try and put people off by saying it's cold here?
Yeah, they did. They were also saying that the streets were not paved with gold.
No shit.
No, they are paved with shit.
They've got to come. Who's going to breastfeed my kids? Will you do it for
It's
me?
a little bit sour. You get used to it. I always put a bit of icing sugar around my nipple.
Trevor, you've recently come here, you worked here, what do you think?
You guys aren't very friendly, like, I mean...
What now?
Look, it's partly because of your weather and just, like, your lives and stuff, but you guys aren't...
The weather first, and then just our lives.
Yeah, and just, you guys are very, like, you're not very friendly. I don't know why you guys are stressed out about immigrants as well, because, like, when it's sportsmen, then you guys love them. You don't want workers, you want sportsmen.
We should have some kind of border control that's basically like a sport.
Yeah, just have goalposts and then like a cricket field.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Stochki, how'd you get into the car? I hit the 6. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, let's have a look and see if it's up there. Yes! David Cameron has announced a series of measures to limit benefits for immigrants. I don't know, these Bulgarians and Romanians, they come over here taking our Polish people's jobs.
The cheeky girls, they were Romanian, weren't they?
And look what they brought. They're lovely. Didn't they both go out with Lembit together?
They did.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, 2 for the price.
Now, that's how history is written, with mistakes like that.
Is it?
Yeah, because originally what happened is one of them went out with him, but in time, because they're twins, everyone goes, yeah, they both... He was just had a sandwich non-stop going on all the time.
I watched him interviewed once, Lembit Opik, and someone, to get a laugh, they went, oh, yeah, what happened with you and the cheeky girl? And he just went, I was just really in love with her, and then we split up. Fuck, you know, it was tragic.
I did a gig with Lembit Opik. I was on. He did his. Do you remember when he did stand-up?
I remember that, yeah.
After Josh, I've got a Lembit Opik anecdote. You go first, Josh.
Let's move on, OK. Fingers on buzz, there's one more thing to get.
Lembit Opik.
He's trying to throw this, don't let him.
Yeah.
They buzzed in. You buzzed in, John.
Well, it's I'm a Celebrity, isn't it? Which is back on telly. Sort of like driving past a car accident, isn't it? You sort of don't want to look, but you see a bit of it and then you can't. There was an incredible bit this week where Matthew Wright was sick into his own hand, choking on a testicle or something.
Oh!
And Decker just watching him going, no, don't forget, you've got to eat all that, or you don't get your little... Like a dog. He was sick in his hand, and they watching him going, if you want your little gold star, you're going to have to eat up all your sick. I mean, how can you not watch that? I mean...
Where was the testicle from?
It was his own testicle.
Jack, would you ever consider it? You went on Big Brother, that was pretty good, you won that.
Yeah, I did that for comic relief, though. And I wouldn't do anything else like that, no. I wouldn't do anything like that. Because they put you with all sorts of people. I don't know if you've watched the programme carefully, but there are other people on the show with you. And...
I'd just punch Ant and Dec. I hate those two.
What are you talking about? I love them. Oh, no, I'm in love with them.
They're a pair of dickheads.
They are not!
They're not funny.
You don't mean that. You're just saying that because you don't want to win.
To me, they're like one man with 2 foreheads. They're just...
You don't even mean this.
I do mean it. I'm sorry, this is a row I'm very happy to have.
Go on, let's go.
Do you not think Ant and Dec, you know, when they look at their career, the proudest moments are when they checked some Coronation Street actress's mouth to make sure she'd finished a bollock?
I only watch them. I can't watch what they're doing because it's too awful, and I don't want them to watch them eat stuff and go on this, and they're scared of heights and trees, and it's dull and disgusting. But I watch it for Ant and Dec, who I'm in love with.
Right.
So I want to do the cheeky girl Lembit Opik sandwich with them.
Dear. I've eaten a sheep's testicle.
You did what, sorry?
I've eaten a sheep's testicle.
What did it do to upset you?
The farmer was livid, it has to be said. I have honestly eaten one. It was cooked and everything in Saudi Arabia. It was revolting. But you know what I'd like to see happen on that show? I'd love for suddenly one of those lost Japanese soldiers who doesn't know that the World War II is over, just to come out and start shooting them all.
Right, let's have a look and see if it's up there. So those were the most talked about things this week. But in other news, Prince William sang Living on a Prayer with John Bon Jovi and Taylor Swift at a charity event on Tuesday.
It's amazing how quickly you can become an embarrassing dad, isn't it? Like...
Nothing says self-awareness like a man who was born a prince singing a song about two people who are so poor that all they've got is their love for each other. It's a clueless bell end, that man.
Kate must have been livid, because she's bringing up a baby and he's gone out and got pissed and done karaoke.
I think she's all right. I don't think she's at home making instant milk. The baby has a team of people and she's on a beach somewhere.
She's got Bulgarian immigrants breastfeeding.
Also in the news this week, a poll has revealed that Brits are having less sex than 20 years ago. The survey also revealed that people are having more adventurous sex. I know I am. The other week, me and my girlfriend tried something we'd never done before. Lights on, socks off. Nigella Lawson has been involved in another public spat with her ex-husband, Charles Saatchi. To be fair to Nigella, I'd take drugs if I was married to a 70-year-old man with a face like a scrotum. And Kanye West has compared himself to Willy Wonka. Not surprising, he's going out with Kim Kardashian. Have you seen the size of her chocolate factory? So at the end of that round, Sean, Jack and Claudia have 2 points, John, Trevor and Josh have 3 points. What? The next round is Pick of the Polls. John, Trevor, Josh, pick a question.
Let's have the lady texting.
OK. Most people think the smartphone is the best ever invention. True or false?
No.
What do you think?
It's not, is it?
Like, it's not, Jimmy. We're done there.
I don't know. I don't think it's the smartphone. I think it's the things the smartphone has. That you know, I think Google is the best invention, to be honest. That's the...
Google's the best invention?
Yeah, Google is the best. Google has made us smarter as people. We now know the answers to things. Like, because of Google, there won't be another world war.
There won't be another world war?
Yeah, there won't, because of Google now. Because now you go, what happens when world wars happen? And then Google shows you. Then you're like, oh, I don't want to do that.
I don't think Hitler was thinking, I've got no idea what a war is like.
Well, Hitler's not the Googling type, though. He's not the Googling type. He just does his own thing. There's Googlers and there's non-Googlers. Hitler's not a Googler. He's not a Googler.
Claudia, what do you think best invention?
We all know that. Fake tan. Hands down, full stop. Come on. Do you not agree?
Do you use fake tan?
All the time. Look at me. I'm bright orange, I hope.
I've seen like proper... You see, that's not... I've seen orange.
Oh, here you are again, judging people on their skin.
I'm not judging, I'm commenting. Like, jokes aside, Jimmy, I'd never seen these people before, and then you
Where were
see
these
them.
people?
They were in a limousine, driving around in, like, in London somewhere, and then one of them was out the roof, screaming...
Is it an ambassador?
Of somewhere orange. Maybe the Netherlands. Maybe it was the ambassador of the Netherlands. I don't know.
Could have been the Oompa Loompas ambassador.
That's judging, and that's not cool, Jimmy.
I want to look, let's just be clear, like I've soiled myself. Like I've had a terrible, like that, and then I've just gone like that. That's... Boom!
It's achievable.
You want to look like you want to smothered your face in excrement.
I want to look like, it's just like, oh, I've held the baby. Oh, it's everywhere, it's everywhere. I'll just put it on my face and my neck. Ready!
All right, so you think fake tan. Sean, what do you think the best invention of all time?
It's got to be the hat, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, before the hat, what people had to endure.
That's very ladylike, Claudia. I enjoy that noise.
She's just about to tan herself.
Anything coming from the sky, generally, if you live on this planet for a while, anything comes from the sky is bad. It's rain, it's sun, it's wind. Sometimes it's like anvils, if you're in a cartoon. You need a special hat for that one. It's got to be the hat.
What about cheese strings?
Don't be so bloody childish. Not cheese strings.
It's not cheese.
We're talking sensible inventions.
Yes.
String and cheese, it's two things that we needed, but now we only need them in
It
one
doesn't
place.
work. It doesn't work as string, I can tell you that. So if you try and wrap a parcel in that stuff, and it doesn't work as cheese, because it tastes like the rim of a car door. You know that sort of rubber stuff.
He's right.
So it fails on both. What it has got is shiny packaging to attract children, who, as we know, are idiots.
Could the best invention, Jimmy, perhaps be God? Or the potato ricer.
What is a potato ricer?
Oh, it's amazing.
I've recently invested in a potato ricer. Incredible. It's the best mash you'll ever have in your entire life. And minimal effort, I mean...
It really is.
Just
So
bang.
smooth.
Sometimes I got mash, I don't want it. I wake up and I've accidentally made mash. It's so easy.
OK, now I've got other contenders for brilliant inventions. I've got a 3D printer.
Oh.
This is like the new thing this year. Let me show you what we made. This is a genuine 3D print of John Richardson. You have a look at it from the side, it's really good. Look at that.
I'm not happy with it pointing at me like that. I'm starting to realise what it's like to be sat next to me.
John?
Yeah, we can get him next to John, yeah, sure.
Just careful with me. Christ.
What a little wanker. Unbelievable.
Why would anyone want that? A 3D printer, what's the purpose of it?
Well, you could print anything. You could print, I mean, in America, they're printing guns.
Put that on my head.
Why not? It's like a really shit wedding cake.
The sad thing about that wedding cake is it's just John on his own, isn't it?
OK, you aware of a onesie?
Yeah.
OK, there's now a twinsy, which is like a onesie for sort of 2 people.
That's disgusting.
Josh, pop that on. It's a twinsy.
That's a onesie for people with personal space issues.
While you put that on, Trevor, you don't like the weather here?
You say it like I don't like the weather, like you like the weather, like everybody likes the weather.
I've got something for you. I've got you a full body umbrella. Try that out for size.
Oh, yeah, that's very...
What's in there, fella? You can put it up, don't panic.
It looks like a see-through Ku Klux Klan outfit.
This is fantastic.
No, your way, go.
Nobody's going to buy this. That's like a 3-legged race. What is that?
It's
you
a
can't even
onesie.
have sex in it.
This is the most intense experience I've ever had.
Is this sex?
Yeah. Put up, John. Put up.
I don't know if it is.
Put up.
I don't know if it is sex, but I am going to count it to my tally if it is.
I don't even have to walk like this. I can walk normally.
Pop down your head.
You always broke my first.
I got you this, Sean. It's a new invention. It's a tie that's got booze in it.
Oh.
It's a flask. It's a flask tie. If you're going to events, you can drink booze out of it.
I bet they haven't put any in.
Yeah, no, we put booze in. Don't panic.
Oh, good.
I insisted there was booze for you.
Thank you.
For the businessman with problems.
So where's the booze?
You bite it a bit and squeeze it.
Oh, Jack
and
knows
squeeze
how
it
to
into the teeth and suck.
Not booze.
Is it not booze?
Nah, fuckers.
They're not giving them booze. I didn't even sip. It's cider, apparently.
It's my kryptonite. But it won't work, will it? Because if you're just sitting at a meeting chatting around, why is your tie moving like that? Do you think anyone would be suspicious at the meeting if you started sucking?
Jack, I've got this for you. This is an invention. This is apparently to help you learn how to smile better. What it is it's a gym for the mouth. So what you do is you just pop that in your mouth, and then you can exercise your mouth so that you're better able to smile.
And it also works as a diaphragm as well for women.
So you put the whole thing in, and then you can exercise.
That is not what this is for.
It is what this is for.
Are you sure?
No, it's
the
not.
fur hasn't fallen off.
Oh. I feel like a blow-up doll. What do I feel like? Oh, well, thanks anyway.
OK, we'll get some answers on this. So, most people think the smartphone is the best ever invention, true or false? What do you think?
We're going to say false.
So you think people will think the smartphone is the best ever invention? What do you think, Sean?
I will say yes. Just to make it interesting.
OK, well, I can tell you the answer is false. Only 29% of people think the smartphone is the best ever invention.
Oh, that's good.
Sean, Jack, Claudia, pick a question.
Well, the billboard.
All right. Most people admit they're easily influenced by advertising. True or false?
Hey?
Well, I just asked. Most people admit they're easily influenced by advertising. True or false? What do you think?
I haven't had cider for a while. The reason I don't drink it.
It
affects me.
See? See what you've done to him? Look, he's crashed now.
It affects
it's okay, Sean.
me. Tiniest amount affects. Gemma! Advertising. How would you know? Because you are naturally drawn to things. If you keep saying something over and over again.
You definitely are, but I think people would like to think that they're stronger than that, which of course we're not.
Have you bought anything recently just on the basis of
I
an
only
advert?
buy stuff because of adverts.
Where were you when you saw the advert for introducing new shitface?
OK, let's take a look at this ad. This stars Jean-Claude Van Damme. It got a lot of attention recently.
I mean,
see what you think.
Is that an ad for fake tan? Because you see my point.
That was an ad for lorries, because lorry drivers naturally like a man that can do the splits.
It's also educational, for sometimes you're driving along the motorway and Jean-Claude Van Damme jumps on your roof and you think, I'm going to get rid of him. And you think, oh, I'll just drift away from the car next to me. Not going to work. Not going to work.
Do you think you're influenced, John? Do you buy stuff based on ads?
I'm not.
Oh, great.
I've had enough of advertisers using, sell your thing with the thing it's good at. Like the Jean-Claude Van Damme thing, they're saying it drives straight. You know, advertisers advertise something by just things that are nice. That bloody car advert with the wrap on it, and the guy's just going, oh, sometimes it rains and then you have chips. And then they go, oh, do you want a fucking car? Because chips are nice, aren't they, on the beach? McDonald's do it as well. Like, oh, if you're a new family, McDonald's will keep you together, won't it?
McDonald's is weird. It's weird though, because I did a casting for them. They had a description for the ad. They said, we're looking for people to come do this McDonald's ad, come for the McDonald's. And then they described, oh, we're looking for funky, young, mixed people, groups of people that look like they're cool. And then they literally wrote at the bottom, people who are generally in shape, please, not people that look like they eat McDonald's.
OK, well, making adverts isn't easy. Have a look at this.
The line is baked in a buttery, flaky crust.
Baked on a buttery crust.
It's close.
Baked on a buttery, crispy crust. Flaky. I like flaky again. Baked on a buttery, crispy crust.
Jack, flaky.
I thought okay. Baked in a buttery, flaky crust. Did I screw up again?
Yes, you did.
I did? That.
Baked in a oh. Baked in a buttery, crispy flake.
That was a great ad. What is the ad for marriage? What was that?
That was an ad for euthanasia. OK, most people admit they're easily influenced by advertising. True or false? What do you think?
True.
You're going to go true? What do you think?
I think it'll be false. People like to think they aren't, but they are.
I can tell you the answer is false. Only 19% of people admit they're easily influenced by advertising. Personally, I'd only agree to do subtle ads for products that I really believe in. Why? Because I'm worth it. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here is your question. Biggest turn-off on a date?
Oh.
Go on, Claudia.
A fancy car. There's something wrong with a man who has to drive a nice car. I won't get in it. I won't sleep with them. I won't talk to them. I will just immediately close the door and say bye-bye.
What would be your ideal vehicle of choice? Would it be like a minicab?
No, I'd like a very old, dilapidated car, perhaps that you would have to get into from the back Nothing would work. Man, he's wearing a fisherman's sweater. Maybe he's got some paint on his hands, because actually he's an artist as well as a fisherman. His hair's like that. He's singing to Duran Duran. He'd get it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd fuck him as well. This is your fantasy. This is...
What does your husband drive?
I don't know. I don't let him out the house.
Biggest turn-off on the date. What do you think, Sean?
Well, I made a big mistake once when I was at a bar with this woman, and I thought it was quite cool. I said 2 glasses of champagne, and then I remembered. I said, oh, and a saucer of milk for my rat. And that put her right off.
Jack, what do you think? Worst thing on a date?
One of the worst things, and I've done this, is I met a girl many, many years ago for a drink in the bar on a first date, and what you mustn't do ever is start a small fire in their hair. I was lighting a cigarette, and you know how a little tiny bit of the match can come off sometimes? Flicked up, and it landed in her hair as she was looking that way, and it went tss like that, and there was some smoke coming from the back of her head, and she said, "Can you smell burning?" And I had to say, "No, I can't."
Biggest turn-off I've been on a date is M4 Junction 15. Sweeps down and back up. You don't really... It just looks that big, but because you're going uphill, you get to the lights and you get a lovely view of Swindon there. And there's a drive-through Costa on the left. Lucky girl.
What do you think, Josh? You strike me as quite a ladies' man.
No, I'm not good. I went on a date that was so bad. At one point, we were struggling for conversation so much, she got out her phone and started choosing a new ringtone.
How old was she? About 11? What did she choose? Like, "Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me," or something?
It was the funeral march that she chose. No, she just chose, you know, the traditional ring ring.
She wasn't right for you, Josh. She wasn't right for you. I could smell a bitch like that a mile. Wish she'd have had a little bit of cider on the old lip.
I had another bad incident when I was meeting a girl, and I was meeting her outside the pub, and I thought I was quite tired. And when I'm quite tired, I think if I do a few stretches, it'll wake me up. Right. I didn't see her coming, so as she was walking down the street, it looked like I was limbering up.
What were you doing? What kind of move? Show us the move.
Well, so you start with something simple, but it was a long... I didn't realise it was a long street, so it would have started like that.
Yeah, sure.
It got quite pelvic by the end. So there was kind of that, and then kind of...
Waiting for a girl.
Waiting for a girl just working on those hamstrings.
Yeah.
You don't want to pull one of those at a vital moment later.
Yeah, it was a disaster. Yeah. This whole thing's really brought up some bad memories for me.
I've never felt so good.
OK, so biggest turn-off on a date? What do we think? Let's get some answers.
I don't know, bad breath.
B.O.
I think B.O.
B.O. I'll say.
Is the right answer.
Oh.
Yes, the biggest turn-off on a date is smelling of B.O. If you're on a date with someone who stinks, try and ignore it and make small talk. Ask them what part of France they're from. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean, Jack and Claudia have 3 points, John, Trevor and Josh have 5 points. They've won! Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.